Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to another criticism video here on the channel. And this time I have a topic for you that is not a mobile game for once. Yeah, I know, shocking. But it is going to be about the potential for Generation 5 remakes. Now, with Pokemon Day or Pokemon Presents coming up in just about a month or so from the time of recording this, the thing that I keep hearing from a lot of people I talk to or in the just random news articles, etc., what to expect from this year, the thing that always pops up is black and white remakes. There's like people hinting at it in the Scarlet and Violet DLC, and then there's like, oh, the black and white bikes and Sword and Shield is like a big hint or something, but let's be real. Why is anybody excited for potential black and white remakes? Especially after the absolute disaster that was Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. It's just very strange to me because it seems like the more time goes on, people tend to forget those games even exist and they're only focusing on what new remakes are coming out. But I find that to be a very stupid way of looking at it because why would you pretend the past game doesn't exist when it can heavily influence the future remakes that we get? Most of my friends or even random people that I talk to have been saying that Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl are probably some of the most boring and uninspired games that we have on the Switch library. And Sword and Shield was pretty boring as well, DLC excluded. But looking back at it, Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl seriously is the definition of a cash grab. And it follows the same suit of what we're doing now, where the high demand for Diamond and Pearl remakes was there, and the Pokemon Company capitalized on that. But instead of sending their ace teams of Game Freak, or even the B team of Game Freak to go do that and do the remake justice, instead they have Ilka Inc. make it, which have little to no experience with making really any games prior to that. The only things they were good with is co-developing, like helping with some sort of technology, or designing apps, which are not the same thing. And what we got with Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl literally is a almost copy-paste job of the original games. No platinum content outside of like a few Pokemon that you can get from the platinum decks hidden in a cryptic way, or just changes that really didn't need to be there, like completely nerfing the contests, for example, because they just didn't feel like coding in the original ones. The entire thing is so copy-paste that if you literally put the map or the whole world design of the original and the remake together, it's a verbatim one-to-one comparison. They literally, all they did was just take the original map and turn it 3D. There was no incentive to really expand upon the Sinnoh region or even like do anything new or anything exciting, with maybe a couple of things, which was maybe add legendaries later on in the post game, but by then you already suffered through the very slow-paced main story that you probably don't even want to play it anymore. Heck, I didn't even want to play it after the first gym. I got bored of it, which is weird because Gen 4, the original Gen 4 I loved as a kid, but like going back at it, it was like I felt like I already did everything. And even watching footage of it after I didn't want to play it anymore, I got bored of it very quickly. Like, I felt like everything is just the same, exactly the same. And there was just no inspiration whatsoever. Even comes down to funny fact that you could just tell how much the Pokemon Company was trying to cut costs with this game when, do you remember that huge day one patch where people thought that Ilka Inc. didn't even finish the game? Oh no, that was actually done by design. Pokemon Company didn't care about these remakes so bad because they knew that people would buy it regardless, that they didn't even pay for the 8 GB cartridge for the Switch. They went with the 4 GB cart to save like on half the production costs with cartridges and just slapped on the day one patch just to save money, because just having the downloadable file is way more cost efficient than actually paying for the higher memory cards. Yeah, that sounds about right now, doesn't it? This game is basically just an asset flip in disguise, or just a Pokemon asset flip, as I like to call it, where there's literally no reason to play this if you've already played the original. And even if you haven't played the original before, there's the nothing has really improved on this to make it stand out amongst Scarlet and Violet, or heck, even Sword and Shield. I think Sword and Shield probably had better pacing than this game did, and that game was pretty slow. So basically, Pokemon Company made absolute bank with these remakes, putting little to no effort into it and still selling 20 million copies. With that knowledge, why would anybody be excited or looking forward to Gen 5 remakes of any kind? You really think they're going to combine both Black 2 and White 2 into the main story? You really think they're going to expand upon the universe and make what is essential a Black 3 and White 3, which people are speculating? I'm sorry, I don't mean to call you stupid, but this is very naive and oblivious thinking that we're doing here. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not like I don't want Black and White remakes, but if Pokemon Company is literally going to pull the same crap that they did with Gen 4, I don't even want to look forward to it. And there's a couple of huge, major red flags to look forward to if we ever do get any information on this game. Number one is if they pull off a teaser trailer that shows little to no footage on the game whatsoever. If they just show hints, or if they show minimal footage of the game, and whatever footage they do have kind of looks a little iffy, just like the whole reveal with Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, I would not get my hopes up at all. Maybe we can give them the benefit of the doubt and say that, oh, it's an early development, kind of, and maybe it'll improve upon it, because I guess even with Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, the map and whatever didn't look as bad in the final release. It still looked bad, but it wasn't as bad as the first reveal. But the other huge red flag, and this is when you should abandon ship as soon as you see it, if in the trailer it says anything about Ilka Inc. making the game again, or some other random studio you've never heard of, do not get your hopes up whatsoever. If Game Freak is not making this game, or heck, even if Bandai Namco is not making the game, because Bandai Namco, maybe we can give them a shot because they have pretty good track record with New Pokemon Snap and Pokken Tournament. But if Ilka Inc. is making this game, or some random studio, just run away. Don't even get your hopes up whatsoever, because this thing is literally going to be the same exact way as the Gen 4 remakes, where minimum effort is put into it, and they're literally just not going to put any content besides the absolute minimal for it not to be like an actual scam. The only way I'm ever going to get my hopes up is if Game Freak, A or B team, doesn't matter which one, if Game Freak themselves is actually going to make it. It doesn't matter if one of the head developers of Game Freak is directing the game. That means nothing. We had that before with Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, and look what that gave us. The only thing that director was showing is, hey, this is how the game was before, do exactly that. Nope, I don't want that. If we're literally going to get Black and White remakes that are literally just of the first game, because if I remember correctly, even Game Freak admitted that Black and White were technically unfinished, and that they wanted to expand upon the world and add new things, which is the reason why Black 2 and White 2 even exist. So if we're only going to get the original Black and White remade with no 2 content at all, we're technically paying for unfinished games. Again. So why would you have your hopes up for that? So people, just do yourselves a favor. Be cautiously optimistic. I'm not saying just say screw it and just don't get your hopes up whatsoever. Be cautiously optimistic with these Black and White remakes going forward. We don't know anything about it. We're just speculating off of whatever people think the conspiracy theories, like, oh, hey, this pole is black, this pole is white. Black and White remakes confirmed. That's basically all we're doing right now. But Pokemon Day is coming up in about a month at the time of recording this. Be cautiously optimistic is all I have to say. Because the thing that's going to hurt the most is if your expectations are up to the moon and you're going to literally get something that's not even like a jump off the ground, it's going to hurt even more. And you're going to feel so disappointed. And if you do end up buying the game anyway, regardless, hoping that you're going to get something good, and then you play it and you don't even feel enjoyment, the only one that's being scammed is yourself. Because you fell for it again. And I don't want that. If literally that's exactly what you want, and you're going to be happy either way, all power to you. Then get it, have fun. There's no shame in that. But I don't want anybody buying it out of like, oh, this is going to be really good remakes. I love this. Just like I did with Shining Pearl. and I got bored with it like not even 3 hours in, and I felt like I screwed myself. That nobody wants that. Only time will tell them. Just look for the signs. Be aware that this easily could just be another cash grab again. But also pay attention to the positives as well. If Game Freak is making it, then I'll be more interested in the game. If it's literally anybody but Game Freak making the game, I'm going to pretend the game doesn't exist because I am not falling for the same scam twice, Pokemon Company. I fell for it once, and I got the game at a discount for $49.99, and I still feel like I got screwed. Those remakes are not even worth half the price. But yeah, no, if you're only gonna put black and white content with no black 2, white 2 content, why should I pay full price for the game? The whole point of a remake is to take the original idea, expand upon it, and do more things with it. Not just hit Control-C, Control-3DV, and call it a day. Nobody wants that. Nobody needs that. Just get that out of here. If you are not going to put any effort into this game, I'm not going to put any effort into purchasing it. Simple as that. So that's about it from me. So state your opinions down below. I'm curious to see what you have to say. And I'm wondering if you are still excited for this remake. Because I honestly don't see the point in getting super excited right now, especially if Ilka Inc. is making the game again. Again, we don't have any confirmation on that. But I just don't trust the company after the crap they just pulled. And remember, they made a huge profit off of it. 20 million copies for pulling the bare minimum effort. That should say a lot. So again, if the high demand for the game is there, and they know they can just do bare minimum and just sell maximum profit anyway, why would they put any effort into it? That's just business 101. Minimum effort for maximum profit has always been the way to go. And no, Pokemon Company is no exception to that. I know people say, like, oh, they're not as bad as EA or Activision. Sorry, times have changed, and I think they kind of are. Just pay attention to their mobile game. More on those later. But for now, that is all. Be cautiously optimistic. Don't get your hopes up fully until we see more information. And I just don't want anybody being disappointed or feeling like they got scammed, because if you know the signs are there, you can avoid disappointment. So leave a comment down below, leave a like if you like this rant, and I will see you guys in the next constructive criticism. Bye-bye.